Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Just kind of double checking some settings here as we get started, and I hope that you're doing well out there. I know that I haven't streamed in a hot minute, so let's go ahead and just kind of get started here. We're going to see how this goes today. And I'm going to bounce over here and change this scene. I have a new system set up, and I'm working on that now. And we'll see how it goes today. Now, I'm not expecting a big audience. I have not streamed in a long time. And so we'll just kind of see how it goes. And I'm just kind of gearing up for 323. I kind of wanted to kind of get back into streaming. And I have recently kind of got this computer, my second gaming computer, kind of straightened out. I've got a 5800X 3D. And a 4080 in it with 64 gig of RAM and nice 49-inch monitor. So I can play in 25. I can play 1440p, but I have real estate on the left and right hand side, and so it kind of really does help. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off. I'm just getting this guy set up, so let me go ahead and turn off a couple of options here. Let's turn off the control hints and the hints and go back, and we won't need those today. But I hope that you are all doing well out there. I'll go ahead and turn that off as well. This is something I haven't done in a little while, and I'm really excited to get doing here again. Like I said, I'm starting to look forward to when 23.3 will be out, and I kind of wanted to just start getting the audio and the visual settings just right on the stream. And hey Nomad, how you been? Appreciate that. It's nice to see you, sir. Marco, good evening. Long time not seen. That is very true, Marco. I have been absent, and I'm kind of starting to get the, with 323 coming out, I'm starting to get the itch again. So, you know what? I figured I would start kind of messing around and doing a little streaming, and that's what we're gonna do today. So I am here on CRUL1, and this is actually not going to be a tremendously long stream today. Like I said, I think I'm just trying to make sure that the bit rates are just right and the audio sounds good, and I'm just starting to kind of get back into things. So that being said, I'm going to do a little mining, if you can believe it. I mean, and as we all know, mining's not the most profitable thing in the game right now by any stretch of the imagination. But I thought I would do kind of, just a little bit of it anyway. So let's go ahead and take a look at the prospectors I have. And I think I'm just going to take this first one. Prospector 1, I actually have this this Deck the Hall livery I kind of like. It's kind of got that green and red theme. I've been kind of rocking that. I do not have the upgraded mole bags on this guy, and that's okay. No big deal there. I do have an updated Atlas drive, so that's pretty cool. But as far as the utility goes, this is kind of the biggest change. I do have a Helix, and I have 2 focus modules. So the idea is you get a little bit more power with the Helix laser, but the Focus 3s do allow you to get a little bit bigger optimal window. And so that's what we're going to kind of rock with today. I'm not even putting any, I don't have any, mining gadgets or those types of things on my back, and that'll be okay for today. So I better pull the ship. So yeah, a new second gaming system. So I'm really happy about that. I got that all finished, set up. I just set up the joysticks this morning. They were working. We're going to make sure that they still work. So kind of a secondary system. It's got a kind of everything that my first, I had built a system for 4K stuff, but I really found out I can't really do 4K stuff unless I do kind of a 2-computer stream. And so I've just kind of gone back to I play in 1440p and stream in 1080. And I think I'm going to probably wait that out until maybe another generation or 2 of video cards out there. I clicked the wrong button there. But yeah, that's kind of my goal, is to kind of is to just kind of hold out for another generation or 2 of video cards, and maybe the 4K will be in a better shape. Chris, nice. How you doing? So good to see you again. A lot has changed since your absence. You're not wrong, Chris. It's how have you been? It's nice to see you. I had a lot going on in life, and now things have settled down. So, and with 323 coming, I thought I would kind of get back into it. I hope you've been well, sir. Well, what's been going on in life? All right, so cool. We're just gonna do what we normally do now. As you guys can imagine, I think transitionally, as 323 kind of comes out a little bit and gets a little more stable, and that type of thing, I will be kind of shifting from pure mining to kind of just industrial gameplay in general. Probably a little salvage, a little bit of hauling, a little bit of mining, different types of mining, rock mining, hand mining, that type of thing. I'm going to kind of keep it pretty focused on industrial content, but I am going to be kind of branching out to some other things besides mining as well. Although I really enjoy mining, I think it's in a fun place. It's not the most profitable venture right now in the verse by any stretch of the imagination. And so a lot of people, and the other side of it is like, even like they've kind of changed things, so it's kind of like more of a mole mining meta. But I can tell you that right now, you don't make enough money to kind of split. You have to really, really strike pay dirt if you're going to make it even remotely profitable. Especially when you can just take the vulture out and make literally between 500,000 and $1 million in an hour. Just flying around and just kind of eating chips. I mean, it's not even a close thing. So yeah. So with that in mind, we are going to actually head over. We're going to go surface mining on Yella today, believe it or not. That's where we're going to head. And so yeah, it looks like the sticks are working good. This is a brand new set of VKBs, my second set for the second computer, and I kind of got all those working. At first, the left one was kind of being grumpy, but I got that. Hey, Ramon, how are you, sir? Nice to see you. It has been a while, and I am just starting to kind of, just starting to put my eye on 323 and thought I would kind of dig back in on this stuff. And now that my life is kind of quieted down, I can kind of get back to doing a little streaming, and I'm really excited about that. And so, welcome all of you who just have chosen to join. I really appreciate it. I didn't really expect to see anybody, so that a few of you are out there, I thank you so much. It's truly very kind of you to come spend some time. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to be changing the content a little bit. It's going to always stay industrial based, right? But it is going to change some, for sure. It's going to be, like I said, a little bit more salvage, a little bit more hauling. Of course, we've got the hauling missions coming out in 323. There's so many cool changes coming. The one thing I was a little bummed about, I'll be honest, which is no big deal, but I was really hoping they were going to add, like with the new map app, that they were going to add like the way to set a marker and go back to it. And we did get confirmation that that's not going to be in there right off the bat. But I mean, that's a big goal is to try and get them to do that one, there. So as you can see, I actually stopped. This is one of the things I really do like to preach. You don't have to go all the way to Crusader. You can stop when you get outside this ring. I'm going to clear the route. I'm going to set it for Yella. We're going to return. I'm going to spool up, and we're going to head that way. Now, once I kind of get to the Yella surface, I am going to swap over to mouse and keyboard. That's the way I like to do. I kind of do a hybrid thing. When I'm flying around, I use my sticks. When I'm mining, I actually go back to mouse and keyboard. I'll be doing that a little bit. We will be surface mining on Yella in the daylight. Selin is a very good place as well. I've been having a little better luck at Yella lately, surface mining. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't done, since I've been back the last few weeks, I have not done a whole lot of space mining. So I don't really know how that is. And like I said, the stream's not going to be terribly long today. I wanted to make sure, check the settings, make sure everything's kind of looking kind of copacetic there. Chris Bates says, I thought of you when Sig posted a short video of the streets. Yeah, oh, that's hilarious, Chris. That's right. Chris used to, kind of tease me because I used to, and I still do. I kind of litter, and so Chris used to kind of kind of teased me for being a litterer, you know. And so you're not wrong, Chris. That thing was right up my alley. I should have bought 3 of them if they would have sold them. Hey Emma, how are you, man? Nice to see you. I'm glad I popped up on your recommendations, my friend. I hope that you're doing well. Tailorine will be just fine. It's 194 away. So Jazzy Cat, hey Jazzy, how you doing? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, some familiar faces. Thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out. And like I said, we're just gonna kind of do our thing here. Now, keep in mind, with the Helix, it's all about distance control. It's not nearly as much about the actual. I mean, obviously, yes, laser power, you know, does play a role, but you know, you're really gonna find that distance control is going to be one of the important things. Ramon says 323 LOL. Well, you sure picked the time to return then, so you're going to be doing anything, doing any hunting in 323 now that critters are going to be a thing? Yeah, I mean, definitely. I am going to be very interested. Of course, we were talking about last night in the guild. It would be kind of funny, like to knock some of them out or lure them onto the ship somehow and then release them in places they're not supposed to be. So yeah, I think that's going to be fun. I have heard, you know, that they can be quite scary in caves and stuff if you can't, you know, you can hear them before you can kind of see them. So it'll be interesting for sure how that's going to go. So all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and you know, we're going to start this scan process. Notice my scan angle is going to be 180. I'm going to send out a ping. We're going to get an RS signature value. For a little while we'll get those, and then I'll kind of collapse and ping again. And then once my signal strength is high enough, I will actually do like a longer scan and get myself a rock icon, and we will fly right in and take a look at this stuff. Now, the cool thing about Yella is the secondary, like one of the things about mining that's changed is you have to be familiar with the secondary rocks. And what I mean by that is the secondary rocks are either going to be aluminum or titanium. Titanium is a 0.9 cluster value, and aluminum has a 0.7 cluster value. And those are important metrics to understand as you kind of do mining. You've got to understand kind of the very big importance of the cluster value, because you know if the secondary rock doesn't cluster as nice, then your chances of having pure secondary breaks are much less. So that sounds like a very fun idea, have them run amok in Area 18. Exactly, Ramon. That's exactly what we're talking about, like turning them, you know, kind of knocking them out and then kind of getting them in an elevator and turning them loose in some place they're not supposed to be, which I think would be really funny. So we are going to be looking for, this is a picker, by the way. This is a purple picker, and we can tell it's a picker because it's a purple outline and its mass is very small at 546. I am looking for Bexelite, Terranite, gold, or Quantanium in around 40% or north of 40%. So this is a nice rock right here. It's too bad it's the first one I've looked at during the day. It's a 34% quant rock. So actually you'd only get about, not even, it'd be 6 or 7 SCU Quantanium, which is not bad, don't get me wrong. But, you know, probably, well, we might mind that, I guess. Let's just take a look at it. Hopefully there's something else here that's got a little something in it. That's a 5009 mass rock. We're crossing our fingers. That's just titanium and inert, so that's not going to work for us. And so, oh, here's a 12,000 mass rock right on the edge of our capability, if at all. Ooh, what's cool about this one? It is a double. Notice it's a Bexelite, but it's not a double tier 1. This actually is 35 and 27. So, you know, 45, 55, and then some 62% of this rock. I mean, 62% of this rock is a tier 1 or tier 2. It's too bad this secondary wasn't another tier 1, because that would be that would be an auto grab. You know, it's not terrible. You know, as it is a, and we may not be able to. That's at the north end of our capability with the Helix. We could give it a try. Why don't we do that? I think that's what we're going to do. Let's see if we can break this one down first, and if we can, then we'll do the Quantanium rock too. But if we can't, then we'll probably move on to just some other rocks, just because, you know, I don't want to just go back with 6 or 7 SCU. So notice here I'm starting 100 at 100. I know this is going to seem weird, you guys, but I'm starting at 100%. Not easy for me to show you, apparently. Uh-oh. Let me kind of remember how to. Oh, yes. I'm starting at 100% laser intensity. And notice up here, I'm actually starting out of range. Like if you notice up here, I'm actually starting out of range. So I'll move into range. So I'm actually using the ship's distance to the rock. And you can see, notice when you're out of range, you don't get the sparks on it. When you get in range, you start getting those sparks, right? And then I'll just keep moving in here. But this is not, this may be outside of our wheelhouse. Notice how close I'm actually starting to get up here to optimal, and I haven't seen anything as far as any kind of movement on the charge level. I am going to move in just a touch closer into kind of more of a danger zone. But 12,300 is pretty much on the, without a surge or a stampede, is really on the outside of what the capabilities are. And so, yeah, I'm not getting any bite at all. Have you had a chance to check out the new ship since your return? If so, what's your favorite? Well, you know what, Chris, right now my favorite ship probably in the game is the C1. I just adore the C1. I really think that's almost like the perfect starter ship with the 232 SCU boxes that can go on either side. It can carry stuff. It's a great ship. I really, 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 really like where the C1 is at. Of course, and so we're going to move on. I could do that 6 SCU of Quantanium, but I want to find a little bit more than that, so we'll just kind of move on, and that's fine. Let me go ahead and get back into kind of scanning mode here, and then we'll ping out here and see what we get. So yeah, I really like the C1 a lot. That one is kind of got my interest peaked. Oh, that's a good 10,800. So yeah, good signal strength there. So I'm clicking and long holding. I'll go ahead and get the icon. Once you get that icon, you can kind of shift into mining mode and just kind of fly your way over there. And we'll see what we get. So I don't know, you know, whatever. I mean, obviously it's pretty crazy what people are doing in the Reclaimer now and what people are able to do in the Vulture as far as money making goes. You know, those Salvage is just kind of crazy overtuned right now. And I'm sure they just did that to incentivize its testing. I have no problem with it. I just, you know, long term it's going to be interesting. John, nice to see you. How are you doing? Hey, long time no see. Can't wait for the Expanse, and then I'll be back. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm kind of prepping for that myself, John. That's exactly right. I'm very much looking forward to 323. There's really some fantastic, you know, updates in that. So that's an Agricium Titanium. Once again, this is a good secondary. Once you see that it's titanium or aluminum, it's going to be titanium throughout the entire cluster. And titanium has that 0.9 cluster value, so it's very nice. Now, this is a nice rock, but notice its mass is way outside my range. But that would be a very nice rock if you had like a two-person mole kicking. That would be you know, certainly within reach if you had the right stuff on there. This is a picker right here. This picker is going to be Agricium. And then last but not least, we have this guy here. And let's just go ahead and see what we have. 17,000 Matt. It's an Agricium rock. We're going to move on. Hey, Sharp, how you doing? It's nice to see you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hope you've been well. So yeah, we'll go ahead and rock this back to a 180 scan. We'll let out a ping and off we go. All right, we got some stuff over here. Let's see if we're going to continue to get. We do. It's a 9200, so that's not bad. And as soon as the signal strength goes up, I'm going to push and long scan. I'll get the rock icon, and off we go. Hey, Shane. I haven't seen you for ages. Yeah, I know, Shane. I've been gone a little bit, but I'm, you know, kind of back and doing my thing, so I appreciate that. And you guys, I can't thank you enough. Hey, Spearhead. Nice to see you. How you been? Chris Bases, I'm waiting on a good cheap EU to get into the game. I'm still running a 2070. Well, 2070 is not a bad, you know, it's definitely not bad. That's a good card. I mean, you could certainly 1080p that. I'm sure just fine, Chris. I, of course, originally started playing on a 1070 myself, you know. All right, we'll switch over to mining mode here. And just, you know, you can always, notice it's at 100% inert. You just have to kind of toggle off and toggle back onto it. That's a titanium hephaestonite rock. That's not going to work for us. We're going to keep moving. Spirit, I hope you're doing well. Shane, I hope you're doing well. Sharp, I hope you're doing well. John, I hope you're doing well. I hope you guys have been great out there. This is close, right? This is not quite what we're looking for. It's only a 33% Bexelite. But I'll tell you, it's got titanium, and it's also got a fairly low amount of that picker right there is a pretty good picker. That's got some Terranite in it. That's 44% Terranite. That's pretty good for a picker. This is a 22% gold rock, and let's cross our fingers there. Nope. So let's go ahead. We'll see how this breaks, and the only reason we're going to do it is because look how low the inert is. And titanium is a very big cluster value. So there's a chance we'll get something that's north of 60% out of this. And, you know, of course, once again, notice my laser intensity on this helix is 100%. So, you know, and notice I'm not getting any sparks on the rock at all because I'm not in the right distance yet. You know, quite honestly, I need to cross this line here before you'll start seeing the sparks. I think you can get the larger bags. Oh yeah, you can, Shane. You can. I haven't tried it in the last little bit, but I seen somebody doing it on stream a couple of days ago, so I think that you still can. I will say the little laser, you have to use the bigger one, right? The two-handed one, because the small one, it says that they're too big. But notice how I'm not even near the optimal. I'm using distance to control the laser intensity. Notice here, if you notice here, I'm not even close to the optimal. And I'll back away in order to, I'll nudge it backwards in order to slow it down. Yeah, the 48 SCU makes a huge difference. I don't have those upgrades on mine right now, but yeah. Plus, you're not going to have a... Yeah, you're not wrong, Romo. Hey, 20 of you watching. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all the likes and stuff. You guys are... That means a lot to me. I will tell you. Thank you. All right, so notice I nudged back a couple, and I'm keeping an eye on it. Once again, we're purely using distance control in order to kind of keep the optimal window optimal. I did nudge forward a little bit, just trying to kind of keep myself in the low optimal. Notice it's starting to climb, but I think we're going to break this guy just easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, the question is going to be what the secondaries look like. I did this rock. It's a little bit lower percentage than I normally do as far as the tier 1, but it was 55% titanium, and that's got a really excellent cluster value. So I'm hoping that maybe one or two of these Bexelites break clean. We'll take a look. Oh, cool. Not sending any moles to salvage. Oh, well, yeah, you're not wrong, Shane. You can't find them to salvage, but you can if you own one, or I own one. And Shane, you can always look me up. You look me up in Discord. I'm happy like on a Monday or Tuesday night to meet you out someplace with my mole and let you take my mole bags. You're absolutely right that you can't go to the ones that are salvage anymore. But if you know somebody with one, you can still exchange the bags that way. And all they have to do is reclaim that stuff. So that ended up being a 25% Bexel. I was hoping that one of these would break clean. But it was a low percentage, and it was 62%. That's worth scooping. I'll do that. And then Jazzycat says agreed. No word yet. Just have you heard anything about the reset for the next patch? I want to get a new shipment. Yeah, there's gonna be. You guys take it to the bank. There's gonna be a wipe for the next patch. I have not heard that officially. I would say take it to the bank. Hey, Dave. How you doing? It's nice to see you. Hello, good people of the verse. I would, I'd pretty much take that to the bank. That's happening for sure. So, all right. So this happens to be 62%. This does kind of break our threshold a little bit. It's not a perfect, but it's at least it's north of. Oh, and there's another rock down there. Maybe we can get lucky and maybe there's one more there that's got some stuff in it. Yeah, 35. When they're that low, if they're north of 60, I don't mind kind of taking them. But when they're kind of below that, and I knew this was a kind of a Probably didn't have a, because it was a low percentage to start with, but, you know, you got to kind of give it a try. I put 50 SU Terranite into the hopper yesterday. Nicely done, Drac. That is awesome. Drac, how you been, sir? It's nice to see you. And so, yeah, 50 SCU Terranite's good stuff. And I mined for probably 5 or 6 days in a row to give you guys an idea. This is a pretty good sized cluster right here, you guys. And when I finally did haul stuff in, it was a couple million. You know, but you know, you can go out and you know, as we all know, you can take a solo reclaimer out and make a couple million an hour. You know, no problem. So, you know, like I said, that's been the real issue with mining, is they kind of made it more mole centric, but you don't really make the profits to split out with a good mole crew. So no big deal, you know what I mean? Eventually mining will have its purpose with you know, with manufacturing and crafting and all that, but for now we're just going to kind of do it as something we enjoy doing. Pretty good. And if someone wants the mole bags, hit me up in game. Exactly, you can hit Drac or hit me up in game. I am always happy to help with the mole bags. So that's a 27% Terranite. This is an aluminum secondary. That's a 0.7 cluster value. And that's why I like coming to Yella and Selin, because titanium and aluminum both have pretty good cluster values. Of course, aluminum is slightly, you know, is a 0.7 as opposed to a 0.9. But, you know, you can actually do pretty well. A lot of pickers down in this particular batch of rocks, but we'll just kind of take it for what it is. And cool. We're going to go ahead, and that's a 1600, man, another picker. That is just an, oh, it had some gold in it. Let's go ahead and see what else we have here. We're looking for something that's 6,000 to 8,000, you know, 9,000 in that area. That's got a tier 1 resource in it that's around 40%. You know, that's how I like to do things. It's, you know, not everybody's got a little different of a, difference of opinion on that. That's a picker with 23% quant in it. You know, that might be something like a top-off type of thing, but nothing we'll, you know, necessarily get ourselves on the timer for. This time, let's kind of hope this is our kind of last opportunity here in this. That's a 1,000 mass rock, so nothing crazy there. Yep, and just kind of aluminum and inert. So we'll kind of keep on trucking. Alright, and let's just kind of see what we have over there. That's 1840. That's going to be, you can actually tell as soon as I get over that. That's going to be a gem icon, watch. Oh, no, it is a single rock. Oh, I assume that was a gem just because it was a, it was a single type thing. The way the diamond icons flash, you can kind of tell. If they flash down to 1, that usually isn't indicative of it being a gem icon. You know, if it flashes kind of multiples, then you kind of know it's, you know, it's what it is. So let's go ahead in here and... Alright, this is a picker, so it doesn't have great mass, and it's 37% gold and titanium, so we'll kind of keep moving there. Oh, wow, that's a heck of a... That's a nice mass field out this way. We've got a... Yep, I've seen pretty good diamond icons. Good contrast on the little bit darker gray area here in here on Yella, and we'll go in here and take a look. Cool. All right, so this is mining in a nutshell. I mean, you are still kind of having to work pretty hard to find things that are worth mining. And, you know, and just depends on kind of what you have. You know, of course, a lot of times I do bring a solo mole, and you have a lot more opportunity with that. I just kind of, like I said, I wanted to kind of just do a test stream today and see how things were going. And you're back. Hey, Sarah, how are you? Yeah, I am back. Nicely done. I hope you're well. It's good to see you. Now, notice I'm not getting any, you know, I wasn't getting any. That's a 26% Terranite, I was going to say. You know, sometimes if you're not getting the, the icons or the outlines around them, you can kind of actually shoot the rocks to wake them up sometimes. This is going to be a picker. Sarah, I hope you've been well. It's nice to see you. And so, yeah. Cool. This is borace. Normally, if you see borace, you see it in a lot of the rocks around. Now, these look like they're good-sized pickers, and it could be that I'm just close, but Oh yeah, it must be, because I was going to say that's only an 853 mass. That's not terrible. That's just, and is this a picker? Yeah, this is a picker as well. Barrel. Alright, hopefully this guy's got a little more girth. But not too much. Good mass, around 6,000, and 24, just a 24% Bex. Not quite high enough to pique my interest. A lot of pickers in this particular batch of rocks here. Bull race, and yeah, it's just a picker. I'm gonna keep on a space truck in here. What do we have here? All right, looks like another cluster. And let's take a look. If life allows me, I should be hopping into the game for the first time when I go on vacation, the 17th of June. Chris, I can't wait for you to be in game, man. We're you know, you look me up that the first day you need a hand, brother. We'll go have some fun and make you a few space bucks and get you all orientated. That's gonna be awesome, dude. That's been a healthy wait, man. You've been patient. Alright, let's kind of pick out, what do we got out there? Something a little, yeah, I got some more rocks that we can look at too. So yeah, here's a cluster here, and there's a little cluster in front of us as well. So, got some options, and that's what we, you know, obviously was what we're going to need. So, we'll kind of get out the old mining laser, and let's see what we got. So, selling size right. Notice here I'm not getting any. Once again, if you just kind of begin kind of shooting them, that's kind of an old school trick, but it wakes them up for whatever reason. It still works. Nate says, "Oh goodness, a wild V appearance. Welcome back. What's on the menu for today?" Well, a little mining today is, you know, nothing too crazy, Nate. But like I was saying earlier, as 323 approaches, I'm going to be doing, you know, kind of expanding the horizons a little bit, doing a little other industrial stuff, some hauling, some salvage, whatever we feel like doing, kind of in the game. This is going to be probably, that's a big old Agricium rock, a 36,000 pound monster that I could not do with the Prospector. And this is a 26,000 pound monster. Agricium is a very unstable, you know, bit of stuff there, and so, all right, 10,000's a perfect, you know, is a really good mass for us. Hephaestionite and aluminum, that's not going to work for us, unfortunately. And so we are going to take a peek here. That's more Hephaestionite, and if we go back here, and just kind of ping. It was out here. I'm just gonna do like a half ping type of thing, and that'll bring the rocks back on. So, awesome. Katana Blue, good evening, V in chat. I hope there is a wipe. So tired of the credits. Farming with the reclaimer to date, 700 million stored. Yeah, and you're not wrong. I mean, you know, Katana, that's what I was saying earlier as well. I mean, you can just print money right now with, and I understand why they incentivize salvage. They wanted people to test it, but it is very, very, and I do realize, as you guys probably are all aware of, the price of the ships are going up significantly. I do hope that mining becomes a little more profitable, you know, or is a little more on par, because really, it's very hard to attract any talent, and nobody really wants to go mining. You know what I mean? So they've, like I said, they've made it more mole-centric, which is cool, but then it's more difficult to get people to go mining with you because, you know, they consider it a waste of time. I mean, in the most respectful sense, because you can sit there and take a vulture and earn 500,000 or to $1 million in an hour. You can take a, you know, you absolutely can take a, you know, a reclaimer and make $3 million an hour. Is there a rentable salvage ship yet? Greg, I don't know that. Chat, does any of you know, is the vulture or the reclaimer, are those rentable? I guess I own the vulture, so I've never gone looking for it. You can see it looks like we've got some rocks that just aren't going to... Don't seem like they want to play nice right now. Alright, now they did. And that's a okay, that's a big rock, though. It's a 48,000 mass rock, a nice Terranite rock. What do you think, chat? Can you help Greg out? Are there any... Is the Vulture or the Reclaimer, are either one of those two... that's a 35,000 mass rock with a nice load of Quant in it. I don't know if the salvage ships are rentable or not. I'd have to look. I think you can run a Vulture, but not certain. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, too. No rentable salvage vehicles, okay. Bought a Prospector right before salvage upgrade and mining nerf. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? They've made mining, like, a lot funner. Like, I do think it's funner, but it's just not very profitable. Yeah, and Greg, I can appreciate that. I mean, there have been lots of people like that have bought the game over the years or whatever and spent, you know, on something and then had a mechanic change. You're not the only person who's ever had that happen. I get it. And it's not an unfair claim, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. It was right around here. You know, so yeah, I definitely can understand where you're coming from. Up, 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 up. Holy mackerel. I was hitting up. Wasn't climbing very fast, though. I will say, you know, like, I even think back to the people who originally bought, like, the Ion and the Ares or whatever, you know, and how, you know, some of those ships, they just changed a lot, you know. So I understand where you're coming from. I think they're right here. If you need money and want to learn salvage, catch me in game. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure, you know, Drac is, you know, I know Drac's got a Reclaimer. Yeah, and then, yeah, you just make money hand over fist on a Reclaimer. I wouldn't have an issue with, yeah, and they should have made... Yeah, I see what you're saying, Greg, for sure. You know, I mean, it's almost like they should have, like, the Vulture as a loaner for the Prospector anymore because, you know, it can make so much more money. And it's not even funny. I mean, it's not close. I mean, you can take those, you can go grab those, you know, the not legal ones. And you literally, I made 320, like 80, and 80 in like 10 minutes. You know, like with a Vulture. I mean, you can make 380,000. You know, like you can make $1 million in an hour if you get lucky on things. That's a 37,000 mass. And I mean, realistically, you're not making anywhere near that mining. You know what I mean? It's not even close. And to the point where, like I said, it's difficult to recruit anybody to even mine. No one wants to, unless they just want to go out, you know, and have a beer and have an enjoyable night. Nobody, you know, type of thing. Nobody wants to actually mine, and I don't really blame them for that. You know, it's hard for me to blame them for that. There they are. Hamma says, I changed from mining to salvaging panels. Yeah, with the Vulture. I don't blame you, Hamma, at all. Not going grinding much dough to get pirated. Yeah, that's... I understand, Greg, for sure. And, you know, and I think it's going to be interesting to see with these economy changes, right? We're going to see things become more expensive. And that's going to... It'll be interesting to see how that affects everything. It really is, for sure. I mine because I enjoy mining salvage. Yes, exactly. Well, and I used to mine because I needed the money. But now the only reason I'm mining is to keep the skill set good. And, you know, and also I like teaching people mining. It's enjoyable. But there's no question that salvage is much easier at money making. So this is a 28% Terranite. That's not going to work for us. Here's a picker. Solar Reclaimer run, packing all available space gives you an average 9 mil. Oh, my stars in heaven. Yeah, that's healthy. And I mean, you're lucky to make 200K an hour mining. I mean, you can do a little better than that, but not much. Now, this is a nice rock here, you guys. So this is kind of a nice rock. You know, we'll look at this one too. Okay, this is a rock worth mining here. It's a 42% Terranite. It's got a high cluster of titanium in it as well. And we should be able to mine this guy, although you can look at the optimal window is way inside the damage zone. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to have to kind of back up quick. Okay, hold on. So I'm going to be definitely backing, like, I'm going to try and have it high in the green. And I'm going to back away. Now, I backed away a little bit. I'm just kind of checking to see, am I gaining? I am gaining slowly. So I am going to kind of focus more on the charge level here for just a second. I know as soon as I buy a freaking salvage ship, they'll nerf it. Hi, Greg. I know. You don't want to chase that dragon. I know what you mean. Oh, yeah, it's starting to go up some more. So I went back a little more. I don't want it to be kind of super jumpy, but I also don't want to be in the blast zone when it breaks. So I need it to be kind of in the high, like in the upper kind of 70th percentile of optimal when I start backing away. So it actually does, and where I have it, I can actually agitate a little bit and probably drive it up faster. But I'm good. I'm just gonna let it sneak in. The most important thing is, though, it has to get at least half into the optimal, so I have enough wiggle room to back away towards the end when it's about to explode. So I nudged forward, believe it or not, because I need more wiggle room in the optimal window. Okay, I'm backing away, I'm backing away, I'm backing away. Yeah. See how I didn't damage my ship that way? It's important. You don't want that to happen. You do have to get right in here, though, and get close if you want to be able to haul these in. Now, notice this one here is going to require a secondary break, and it's 71% Terranite. So once, you know, this is going to require a delicate hand. But notice I'm just inching forward. So once again, distance control is the key here with the Helix. You're not using the laser intensity as much as you are just kind of nudging your way in until you start to see the charge level go up. And there it goes. And so now we'll just kind of let it just kind of see how fast it increases and keep a close eye on it. And so notice how it really jumped there. I actually hit back a little bit. I'll actually roll this way so we get a little bit of contrast as well. So I put the green in you know. So I've nudged back a couple of times just to kind of see if it's still going to go up. But I am using distance control entirely to deal with this optimal window. In we go. I did nudge back a touch again. I'm going to nudge back a couple of good times that time because I didn't like how fast it was going up. I nudged back again. And it looks like it's starting to decay out, but at such a slow rate, we should get a clean break here. So took a little damage there. I thought I had backed out of it, but, you know, no big deal. So that's 100, that's 99% Terranite. That's what we're looking for, is real clean stuff, but I'm not close enough to scoop it. So that was, you know, that was good. Some, you know, 70% of this rock was Terranite, so we're going to have probably another piece or two that was halfway decent. 100% Terranite right there. Okay. And, truly miss the good old days of Quant clusters in the belt. Oh, I do too, Katana. I really miss I definitely wish that things were a little bit more, you know, well, I will say, I want to say it the right way. I appreciate the depth that they've added to mining. I really do. I just feels like in like the AUEC power creep, mining was really left behind. And so that's my biggest issue with it, is that, you know, they've changed it so you're at your most profitable with a mole, and that makes perfect sense to me, except for the fact that if you put 3 people in it with you, it's not profitable enough for against the other professions that you can do, like salvage. I mean, you know, if you can do 9 million, you know, versus, you know, 9 million versus, you know, like literally maybe if you're lucky $1 million. I don't know that you get $1 million in a full mole, maybe. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you're up against. I've never minded decoupled, Dave. Nope, I don't want to be kind of constantly fighting. Yeah, and that's a good point too, Nate. Maybe with the refining ships, it will become more viable. And listen, we all know that mining will return to its importance when there's crafting, right? Because people will all of a sudden pay a ton for, like, you might have some crappy tier 1 resources or some tier 3 resources, but somebody's just paying a ton for them because they just need them now because they want to build the base. You know, things could change dramatically. Now that's a 40%. I don't think I really want to rock that guy. That's 100%. Oh, there was one over here. Let's just go ahead and check that guy. That's just 25%. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's. Does look like there's. That's only 6%. Oh, there is one more off to the edge here. Let me look. Was hoping that there'd be one more good-sized rock in here that had decent 100% Terranite. How about that? Yeah, we'll take it. Sure, but pirating will go further off the charts. Greg, you know what? I will say, you know, like, and maybe it's just, maybe I've been lucky. I haven't had that much pirating happen to me in all the years I've been mining. It'll be interesting to see with distribution centers more heavily focused if that does change. But, you know, we'll have to see. I mean, right now, I mean, you know, if any pirates are going after miners, they're really going after the wrong targets, if I'm being honest. You know, there's just no money to be... We're hardly making any money, let alone splitting it with pirates. Only way you're going to get $1 million out of a single mole would be about 50 SU. Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, and let's be realistic. By the time that you do all that stuff, and that you spend, you know, like, and if you have a full mole, it's going to take days for it to refine. You know, no one wants to wait. You know, so you know, it's just, unless you have an org, and unless there's a reason for mining right now. And there really isn't, like, until crafting or something really does change kind of the lay of the land with it. You know, we're just in a spot where, you know, it's just not in a good place, mining. You know, as far as things to do in the verse. You know, I mean, there's more lucrative things to be doing. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy mining. I find it fun. And I was really hoping with the like the maps and apps that they were going to make it so you could go scouting, leave a marker, and then come back. Boy, that would have made things. Then at least you could even justify, like, ask you, like, hey, you know, 3 people that are, like, I know where there's a very, very nice rock that we all could make 200,000 in a half hour if we fly right to it. And I've already got it marked. So I was really hoping that they were going to add that with the changes, you know, with this first iterative change to, you know, like the maps and stuff, but they're just not doing that. Hey, Mass, how you doing? Nice to see you, sir. Mass and I had a really good, fun time last night with the group. You know, chasing down fixing the camera rays and doing that kind of a stuff. Greg says, I enjoyed the game immensely, but after salvage became depressing, mining is only profitable with refining, and you get pirated or killed trying to get your goods to the market. You know, once again, Greg, I have not ran into real tons of pirating issues myself, but you're not wrong. I mean, the complexity of it's a lot different. You're putting in a lot of time and energy, and you're not necessarily, you know, I mean, you get instantly paid with salvage, and you can, I literally can set out on a vulture and in a half hour's time have 400,000 more, and I haven't even had to really salvage anything. I just break the ships up and get paid on the things, you know. So it is kind of crazy. You're not wrong, and it's just, it is how it goes. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a blast last night. You know, kind of, we were using a big ship as kind of a base of operations. We were flying some arrows and some Furies off of it, and we were launching ground teams off of it as well. It was a good time last night. Good time had by all. All right, so I'm going to kind of switch things up here. I'm going to hit an OM. I'm going to go back and get into the daylight if I can. I notice it's kind of getting dark, so let's go ahead and hit an OM marker and make that happen for ourselves. And so, yeah, I like mining in the day. I don't like when it starts getting to be too much nighttime. I just kind of bounce out of there, because you can see somebody mining from like lower atmosphere if they're, you know. And so we'll look for something over this way to kind of get back in the sunlight. What's that guy right there, huh? Yeah, we'll head towards Opal over here. You can avoid most of would-be pirates easy enough by breaking up your travel routes. Exactly. I agree with Drac. You know, you just kind of go towards some place you're not supposed to go towards for a good 2 or 3 minutes, and then zag back towards. If you're setting up between CRUL1 and Orison, or you're setting up between ARC-L1 and ARC-Corp or whatever, and you're just flying straight, you'll have a much higher chance of getting quantum interdicted. If you take a little, if you do a little zigzaggy route, you have a way less of a chance of having that happen. So, but yeah, you're not wrong. The Reclaimer's not getting away from a whole lot. You know, that's for sure. Anyways, yeah, that's very true. All right, so let's go ahead and kind of, now that we're kind of back on this, we'll keep pinging out here. Something was down here. What was down here? Mastodon says, Greg, as far as salvage goes for the vultures, oh yeah, it's not even that expensive of a ship. I mean, and you'll make that money back in like, not even, you can literally make that money back in 2 hours. This almost looks like it was a, that almost looks like tailings down there. I wonder if it is. We'll find out. So 15,000 is a great mass here, but you know, just a 23% gold rock, that's not going to work for us. That looks like it's a picker down there. It's just Terranite. This looks like it was mined to me before a little bit. We'll have to look closer. Now that Squadron 42 is feature complete, can we expect a video of you playing? Oh yeah, I'll definitely do that, you know. So that's just 25% gold. That's not great. Yeah, and I definitely, now that I have the second system completely set up with sticks and everything, the next couple goals I have are to get, I'm going to get like one of the eye trackers, and I'm going to get some pedals. And then I think I'm really in good shape. I mean, I have both systems. Now that's a nice picker. I'm actually, even though a lot of this is kind of garbage, that is not a bad picker. I'm actually gonna grab that guy. That's quite a bit of gold in that. After spending 100, why the hell would I spend the? No. You can buy it. You can buy it in game. I think, Greg, is all we were saying. You know, is you know, like I said, I went mining for about a week and earned a couple million. Now it's not, you know, and with that couple million, you could certainly buy the vulture in game. And I don't think that that thing is that expensive, and then you could just turn around and make all that money back in the first couple hours, I think is what people are saying. Or you can just go, you know, salvaging with you know, with somebody who's in a reclaimer, and they'll pay a couple million for crewing. But you're gonna lose it when it wipes? Well, I get it. But you also have to remember the knowledge you gain on where to go and how it's all done and that type of thing. You know, there's other. Oh no, it doesn't take weeks, Greg. I mean, I can tell you, just mining like I've been doing. Like I went mining for 4 or 5 days, and I'm not exaggerating. And when I did finally haul it into the refiner, it was close to 2 million. So and I wasn't mining all day. I was just going out doing a run or two. So, you know, yeah. I mean, even in these lower, you know, I'll still make, you know, a couple $100,000 every time I go out, you know, in a prospector. You know, you still have to wait for it to refine and stuff, but it's not quite that bad. I mean, you know, comparatively speaking, it's not great, but it's not that bad. That's 39% Terranite. That's pretty close. Is that was that a titanium secondary? It's an aluminum secondary, but very low. Yeah, I think we're gonna do this, Rock, because we don't have a ton of room left, anyways. But let me see if there's something better. But we'll do that. Got pirated. You must have just been on a... Greg, I have flown in, and this is probably no exaggeration, 500 loads of... I might just grab this 47% gold and be done with it. Oh, no. You know, that's would be another... Alright, there's aluminum. I mean, I have hauled in, like, at least, if not 500, 1,000 loads, and I've only been pirated one time. So, you must have just been on a bad server or something. I don't know. This whole thought about being pirated all the time, I've never had that problem ever, and even on stream. So, yeah, I mean, if that was happening to me, I would probably jump servers. I would probably try and mix it up a little bit. As far as like I said, not going right at certain places. Yeah, I've definitely never had that. With resets looming and things changing, I'm wondering what would be the best moneymaker in 323. It's going to be a great question, Sarah. I definitely, while I of course am not knocking salvage, I do hope that things are a little more tuned, like in. You know, I hope that you just can't take a solo reclaimer out and make 3-4 million in an hour. You know, but I really want to be careful. I don't want to take all the profitability out of these things either. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like I don't like that my solution is for something to make less. But I know that a lot of prices are increasing, so it is going to be interesting to see. It's going to be definitely interesting to see what the best moneymaker. Now, the best moneymaker traditionally has been these ERTs, I think, right, guys? Or the most, like the highest level bounties have been kind of usually the most profitable. But I'll tell you, salvage has been an absolute close second. I know that. You know. All right, we're starting to kind of climb here. So, yeah, distance control is 100%. What? Everything I'm about is distance control here. So I'll nudge back a little bit because I'm climbing pretty fast. So now that I have to wait for the rest of 323 before playing, I don't grind to get frustrated. Yeah, no, I get it. And I think that's the thing, right? You know, you should do... Greg, I mean, obviously the most important thing is you want to be happy, right? So, you know, if you're playing and it's not making you happy, then take some time off. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Mining is going to be critical to manufacturing. Mining is going to be critical to base building. Mining is going to be critical to crafting. Mining will find its way back into the, you know, to a level of importance again. It will. And for a long time, mining was, one of the best industrial ways to make money in the game. So it will find its way again. Yeah, I just decide what ships to melt. Yeah, that's a great thing to sit and contemplate, Sarah. Which ships are going to be kind of your money makers, and which ones are going to be are going to bottom you out. You're not going to make that much with them. Nate says, I don't want salvage earnings to go down, but I do want some other non-common earnings to balance. Yes, exactly. I think that's what I'm saying. Sorry, not happy at all with SIG. Greg, that's fine. You know what? You're allowed to... When you come to my channel, if you're unhappy with SIG, you be unhappy with SIG, and that's totally fine. Listen, I understand, and I know lots of people that have been frustrated with SIG over the years, and that kind of a thing, and it's yeah, I mean, especially when I understand when you invest your money and they change something, and that's a bummer. I get it. And listen, I don't think it's down the drain. I think that having a prospector to start is going to be an excellent ship someday. It's just not as profitable as it was. But yeah, I agree. It's well, you can melt that ship, Greg. I mean, you can't get your money back, but you could change it into something else if you wanted to. You could actually get your money back on the prospector and probably put $5 more in and get a vulture if you wanted. If I'm not mistaken, right? And then just use the vulture to make all the money in the world you want. So you could melt your prospector, I think, and just put $5 more in and get a vulture. I think, right? Isn't the vulture just like $5 more than the prospector or something like that? Well, we can't solve all those problems, right? We're here playing it with you. Well, I understand, like I said, I get it. It's cool. That's 1% Terranite in there. That's not gonna work. That's 14% Terranite in there. %90 Terranite in there. I like it. Death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, that's Star Citizen. Nope. No question. All right, that's 19%. And we're almost full here. I was hoping one more rock had a little something in it for me. All right, that's 33. That's okay. That's 14. That's 12. So there was a gold picker over here that had 40. It's this guy. We'll top off with this guy. Oh, it's 47 actually. We'll let that guy top us off, and there we go. That's the end of our first run. Now, not the cleanest run in the world, not terrible. We're around 20 SEU with tier 1 material. And that's usually my goal, is to try and get, around that. Let me kind of flatten out here. I'm going back to sticks. Yep, and we'll just kind of fly up and out of here and head back towards CRU L1. As soon as we get to 2,000 atmosphere, we can, I think it's 2,000, right? Yeah. Yep. And then we'll start spooling here, and it's so nice to have the sticks on both systems now. Because it was definitely do enjoy having, flying with the sticks. Vulture's $201. Oh, and the Prospector's gone up to 178. Wow. Now, Katana, and I mean it respectfully, is that USD or is that a different? If it's USD, those things have gone up. I'm just curious. I melted my Zeus for the L7C. I didn't realize you can't buy back game package upgrades. Yeah, that's something, Dave. You got to be careful with your game package one for sure. Although with, you know, I'm sure you probably either took care of it or, you know. Oh, UDD. Gotcha. Yeah, I was wondering about that. That makes sense. So, but they're very close in price. And so if, you know, Greg, I would, you know, you know, in your mind, Greg, right now you have $150 paperweight. I mean, you know, you could spend a, you know, $5 or $10 more and have a ship that would print you $500,000 every hour. You know, and you know, so I mean, there's always that. I know that it seems like, you know, it's like, well, I put in more money, you know, that sucks or whatever, and I get that. But I would say, you know, that at least you'd have a ship that at least between now and the foreseeable future, you know, you could make lots and lots of money. You wouldn't feel like you don't have something to take out. You know what I mean? So, but just a thought, you know what I mean? I would never tell anybody how to spend their hard-earned money. And, you know, I know myself, I've done that a couple of times when I ended up with a ship that I thought, you know, this isn't what I'd hoped it would be, but, you know, I'm only a few dollars away from something a little different. And I've made those changes myself. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Very cool. All right, let's kind of roll this guy around. I'm going to drop the gear, lower the VTOLs already. Get out of visual, double check. Yep, I didn't spark in a touch. I did take a touch damage there. Hoping I can get back into it during Invictus, but I may hold on to the F7A once I get the Zeus. Yeah. Which Zeus variant did you get, Dave? Out of curiosity. Did you get the cargo variant? Did you get the bounty hunting variant? Which one did you invest in? Kind of curious. You know, it's interesting because when the Zeuses were first introduced, I looked at those ships and thought to myself, I mean, the C1 had just kind of came out too, and I was like, I really like the C1. I'm happy with the C1. The CL, so that's the cargo variant, right, Dave? So that makes sense to me. That holds the 128 SCU. That's, you know, I am taking a second look at that ship. I do. You know, of course, I've become kind of a, you know, you guys, I mean, you know, I love the Mist Prospector. It's my favorite ship in the game. But I have become kind of a Crusader fanboy. I hate to say that. I was somebody who never dreamed. I mean, I just love Crusader ships. I adore the C1. I absolutely adore the C2. You know, all of the variants of the Hercules I could own. You know, I could see having the cargo variant. I could see having the M2. I could see having the bomber. C1 is the loaner. Yeah, that's a good ship to have on loan for sure. And so yeah, I definitely am somebody who, you know, who can absolutely see the value of that 128 SCU. I mean, the only other ships that you have around that range, the MSR at 114, which is right there. I mean, I usually C1 MSR, it's that mid-range ship, right? Like I did the Taurus for a little while, right? You know, that's that 170. It's those, you know, it's those ones that are like 120 to 200. It's just a gap there. So the Zeus having the 120, you know, the 128 was, you know, that's actually a pretty healthy compliment. And I'm sure they'll have the cargo grid arranged in a good way. Notice here, I'm just taking her in nice and easy. We're in no hurry. And I like to just kind of put her down real easy. Corsairs, yeah, you're not wrong. Corsairs is right. Besides my starter, I bought all the ships I like to use in game. The only extra I bought with real money was the ROC. Yeah, and that's what I like about Star Citizen. I do think that you can invest. I mean, you know, and for anybody who's investing in the game, I don't knock them. You know what I mean? If that's what they want to do, and I'd probably put in a few more space, real dollars than my family would probably like. But you know what? This is our enjoyment, and you know, and so to me, let me just make sure they're actually doing what I'm asking them to do here. Sometimes you got to keep them honest. You got to click it a couple times and just kind of watch and see what they're up to. Doesn't look like they're giving me any love. Let me just do the repair. Boom. No? Yeah, all right. Well, we'll fix it later. Yeah, the Corsair is an interesting ship too, for sure, Dave. And that's what got 74 SCU. So SCU, like the amount that a ship can carry, as obviously I have a very industrial slant in my gameplay, so I'm always thinking about things like that, like how much SCU something has, and we need some more ships that are around that 120 to 150 range. We've definitely got a bunch of, I mean, obviously we have the 24s, we have a lot of the 66s. That area, we definitely have a lot of 96s. Of course, you have the Andromeda series and the Raft and those. Of course, you have the 114 with the MSR. You have the 120 something with the Freelancer Max, and then of course, like I said, that Zeus. That's where that kind of comes in. There's not a whole lot of other ships that have that amount in there. Base Drister, welcome to the channel. Not a name I recognize, but I always do like to say hi to people I don't recognize and welcome you aboard. Thanks for stopping in today. Here, I'm feeling bad for spending 100. Yeah, well, yes. I mean, people are in different positions in life, and so different people, are gonna go ahead and make the choices that they're comfortable with in their lifestyle, right? So. I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and head down here and see what. If I were to guess, we're probably unrefined, probably around 70,000. So this run was probably worth about 150,000 or so. We'll see. Something like 70,000 or so. Radical added to friend. Okay, I'll add you to friends. Radical.
Into building.
Base Tristan says, I like mining too. Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's like we've been talking about a lot, Base. It's not the most profitable thing to do in the game, but if you enjoy it, no reason not to do it. I get an org mates I play with her. Yeah, that's. I'm very blessed to be in a really good organization with a bunch of really great people too, and a lot of them have invested quite a bit in Star Citizen, in the most respectful sense. All right, so so I was right, around 74,000. So this will refine out to almost around double that. So 140, but probably around 140,000 was this run. Kind of after I and you can see I've got a couple of other things like this would have been a solo mole run, right? You can see here, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. 50 SCU of Tier 1 resources, and then you had 22 SCU of so 70 SCU Tier 1 resources I have there right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Prospector. I'll set up a work order here. We are going to do the Bexlite, we're going to do the Gold, we're going to do the Terranite, and then we are going to choose the Dynix Solvenation, or Dinks, some people call it. I call it Dynix. And I will confirm that, and we'll take a look, and we got 28 hours on that. So, probably in the neighborhood of 140K or so on that run. Nothing too special, but nothing to sneeze at either. I mean, obviously... making a few space bucks here and there. All right, let's jump back on the ammo side. I'm going to pull this. I will carry this. Chris, look! Look, all my empties are right in here, sir. They're right. I'm keeping them. I don't need the street sweeper yet. I've been keeping them. To think I shouted at my sons when they bought in the scam of Star Citizen, now I'm a concierge. Well, here's the thing, right? Once you begin to kind of play Star Citizen, you do believe, like, I started believing in the audacity and the scale. It's just, it's a little bit of a different monster. I had to mute there, I coughed a little bit. So... Alright, couple of... There we go, put that back on. Well, I will tell you, I've been very happy with the performance today. I think the stream has looked pretty good. I will double check the audio and make sure that that sounds like it's good. I don't know that I had a whole lot more planned today. Unless there's any other questions that you folks have answered, I probably will just kind of do a sign-off for today. Let me kind of get in the light here. How about one of these here? So yeah, I know I haven't been on in a while, you guys, but I'm gearing up to kind of get back into 323, and we'll be doing a lot of. Yes, you're not wrong, Hamma. And what Hamma said is very right. He said if I would have grabbed that 6 SEO Quantanium from the beginning, that would have been it would have been a lot more money. And you're not wrong. That 6 SEO Quantanium was probably almost is worth as much as what I had. But I may not have been able to find the rest of it either. So you're absolutely not wrong. But that being said, yeah, a new era of streaming begins. Well, thank you all who joined me today. I'm gonna try and get back to my regular Saturday mornings, and then and find my way to at least a stream or two on weeknights as time goes on. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I love conversation with you guys. I hope that you're all doing well. Please take care of yourself, and I will see you all around the course.